For those of you that follow the original Stalker 2, the original Stalker trilogy, today XRay 2.0 actually released. As the post goes, this is a community-made old Stalker 2 restoration project. With work done to bring it to a working state as well as updating it, it is still far from finished. Of course it is, but if we're seeing it at all in the first place, that's really cool. The comments are not really having a great time, people are fighting. If you follow Gamma, Rogue does not like this fork for whatever reason, but let's check it out. Servarium style stats. Oh boy. XRay Engine is a game engine that was used by Studio GSC to develop games from the Stalker franchise. XRay version 2.0 was used to develop Stalker 2 until it got cancelled in 2011. This is a restoration project that aims to finish the engine and use it to recreate Stalker 2 as we know it, from all leaked or released materials. However, if we go back to the comments, apparently famous build leaker has something to do with this. What are some things XRay 2 did better than the first and things they added to it? That's a really great question, but to be honest, we never really got to see much about it. We don't really know that much about it other than that it was being developed and used for Stalker 2, the original, but we never saw it, We just saw early builds. So if I continue searching for Loxatron, apparently Loxatron has a YouTube channel. This is the channel of former Lost Alpha mod game designer with Lost Alpha videos and other projects in the past. Very, very interesting. So, in other words, Lost Alpha is behind this, or at least a part of it. Check that shit out, man. And here we go, Regash is commenting on a post from a year ago. Regash is one of the better, well-known posters about Stalker. He knows quite a lot about it. And anyway, he says, the availability of builds is largely due to a guy known as Loxatron, who is publishing them on Gaminator forum. They are obtained by poorly secure GSC servers. The same goes for many archives of design documents that are publicly available. Just to give you a little bit of a background there. So yeah, this tracks because on the Stalker forum build 1475, it actually mentions Loxatron on the wiki. And it mentions Gaminator 2010, 15 years ago. So this guy's been around for at least 15 years, probably since the fucking game released. So I think he knows what he's doing. Especially if he's coming from older leaks like this to try to bring back the old Stalker 2. I guess we'll see what happens. Having never experienced the original story, there were spoilers of it, but I didn't want to read them. Besides, with it being half finished or however finished it was, if we even get to see like a playable build, then that would be really cool. Being able to play Stalker 2 originally would be fucking amazing. That would be like the end goal, right? But I don't think that's going to happen because there's voice lines and, Stalker modders never really do anything good with voice lines. It's always just mountains and mountains of text. I'm not going to say there's not good mods, but it would be a real Herculean effort to get this thing out. I'm not going to say it can't happen because over the years we've had plenty of mods, plenty of experience with mods. People have been modding and making mod packs for the last decade while Stalker 2 was coming out. Both of them, to be clear. I'm sure they have tons of experience with the XRay engine, so that gives me a little bit of hope in whether or not we'll actually see this happen. Now, the question becomes, will it happen at all? And this is where I can relate to Grok a little bit. You can't really definitively say, things like this crop up all the time. It happens every once in a while. You see something like this, a new fork. I think the most recent one besides this was XRay, but there's been a few of them. I think there was also the Monolith engine, XRay Monolith or whatever the fuck. But that one actually kind of got somewhere. There was the Open XRay engine that allowed it to be, I think, 64-bit. So there's been successful examples. There's no point to just be a Debbie Downer right out of the gate, you know what I mean? For one, I think it's brilliant that we're getting anything like this in the current year, especially with Stalker 2 releasing. For anybody to pay attention to the old games like this, to really care, that's amazing because it seems like all the focus would be on Stalker 2 because it just released and it needs help. It needs because it has so many bugs. You know, the modding community is making mods for it, like all hands on deck for Stalker 2, basically, the new one. Of course, this isn't entirely true because mods are still being made and released. For example, like the FSZ project, which I just played through. So things are still happening in the background. You just have to pay a little bit more attention and have a little bit more care.